Alright guys, the time has come. Lady Noelle's kit has dropped. And let's talk about it, man. This is going to be the December Fusion Champion, the Partner Champion to, of course, Sir Nicholas, who is available to grab in the game right now if you can finish the current Titan event path, all of that good stuff. Let's talk about her, man. Let's check out her kit and see if she is worth fusing or if she's a piece of crap, and make sure to go ahead and give your opinion down below in the comments as well. She's a weird one. I'm going to give you that straight away. So the A1 is an attack 1 enemy, has a 100% chance bucked of placing a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. So basically, potentially 100% uptime on the block buffs here against bosses like Chimera, maybe, you know, which got me excited at first. Ooh, she could be like some kind of Chimera specialist or whatever. Wouldn't really make sense putting her alongside Sir Nick for that, but let's read on. Also decreases the target's turn meter by 20% if they are under a freeze debuff. These effects cannot be resisted if Sir Nicholas is on the same team. So freeze mechanics, right? You might be suspecting, wait a minute, does that mean? Oh yes, it does. She's going to be a PvP or arena specialist from what we can see so far. So moving up and on to the A2. Target an ally, one ally. If the target ally is under a sheep debuff, removes it. She has a sheep cleanse in the kit. Very interesting. If the target ally is not under a sheep debuff, removes all debuffs from them instead. If the target ally is not under a sheep debuff, also heals them by 50% of this champion's max HP and heals all allies equal to some of the surplus healing as well. So all single target, sheep debuff removal, healing on the single target as well, and if the target ally is Sir Nicholas, instantly activates his Goodwill skill. It then places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown bucked. Okay, dude. So if she's going to be a PvP style champion, the major concern that I can think of right away off the top of my head is, does anybody... I don't think I've ever seen Sir Nicholas even a single time, even in classic arena, in like low gold ranks and stuff like that, in my life. And I played Raid for about like 11 months at this point. Not like the biggest Raid veteran over here, but I feel like if he was good in Classic Arena, or if anybody had found like a composition or like a team build where Sir Nicholas was good in Arena, I might have stumbled into it by now. As such, I've seen nothing. So it's a little bizarre that Lady Noelle is kind of being specialized to, partner up with Sir Nicholas, but also to be an Arena champion, whereas Sir Nick is kind of like a fish out of water in Arena from what I can see. But okay, let's keep on reading on anyway. The increased speed buff is lovely, you know, debuff cleanse, lovely. The heal seems like it could be very, very big. And I was thinking at this point while kind of scanning through the kit for the first time, all right, the A1, the A2, maybe they could still find some use in certain PvE scenarios. At least, you know, maybe she doesn't have to be an arena-style champ, but the A3 revives all dead allies with 50% HP, 50% turn meter, okay, then has a 75% chance, I guess 100% chance bugged of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Okay, so if your allies are dying in PvE, you're probably playing up against Hydra, or some other kind of boss content where the freeze is then useless. So, okay, it kind of takes PvE off the table for the most part. She's going to be like a 5 out of 10 champion, maybe. Something like 6 out of 10 champion in most PvE scenarios with a kit like this. Some healing, some block buffs, you know. Yeah, she's going to be an arena specialist, I suppose. This is just happening. We'll place the freeze debuff even if there are no dead allies. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if Sir Nicholas is on the same team. So, yeah, we'll place the freeze debuff even if there are no dead allies. This tells me that in PvE, she's just going to use this A3 randomly just to freeze enemies. You know, freeze like the ads in Ice Golem and stuff like that, for example, you know. She's just going to use it randomly rather than as a revive, which, yeah, I don't really know how I feel about that, man. And just pulling the webpage down just a bit further, we've also got a passive to cover as well. Not that hyped, by the way, about this champion so far. Does the passive save things? That is the question. Decrease the speed of enemies under freeze debuffs by 10%. When a sheep debuff expires on an ally, fills their 10 meter by 50%. Now, there was a little bit of a clarification on the Reddit post, sort of like linked up with this image, saying that it's not just when the sheep debuff expires, it's when the sheep debuff ends. Okay, so it can end through damage, it can end through just like running out of duration. I'm assuming it also includes when Lady Noelle cleanses the shield debuff off of somebody. That also counts as the debuff expiring, I guess, and fills their 10 meter by 50%. So a little bit of added utility there, you know, it's something. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, blah, 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 blah. And Aura is, again, arena focused ally speed in arena battles by 30%. You know what would be really interesting and cool and something a little bit different? What if this was like a siege aura? You know, if this was like a siege battles and her and St. Nicholas could be partnered up as like a super fast freeze heavy polymorph countering little bit weird siege defense team or like siege attack team, you know, a little bit of something for siege mode. Because let's be real, man, arena battles 30%. Is anybody going to be using Lady Noelle and St. Nicholas in PvP? In like live arena and that kind of thing, you know? I don't know, dude. Are people even worried about going up against that? And genuinely asking as well, because I mean, genuinely like PvP arena, that kind of thing is not really my scene in Red. And so while you guys get to commenting down below what you think of this December fusion, is it one that you're going to be going for or skipping just based on this? Just based on like a hunch? Maybe you'll change your mind in future or something if you see it tested by like the bigger Raid players and stuff on the test server and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and check out some of the Reddit comments, see what people are saying, man. I think there's always angry people in the Reddit comments, man. That's really not saying nothing, but it's always kind of interesting. Honestly, for a Void Legendary, she feels below average for a Void Legendary, though. What am I doing? I'm gonna go ahead and just put average anyway. What are people saying? Most people saying good, few people disappointed, a bunch of people angry. Okay, it's like pretty standard stuff for Reddit, I suppose. If we scroll on down, that seems confusing that she's an arena champ, but yeah, I don't look at St. Nick and think I should put him in an arena team, so that's just the top comment right off of the bat. We didn't have a great fusion in months, so now we need to wait even more. Just diluted the void pool again. Okay, so they're not happy here as well. She seems unfathomably ass, especially for a void. I feel like I must be missing a trick here, says Jindrax. Yeah, remember, it's a void legendary. They should be busted OP. This feels like it's confusing and boring and only useful against sheep crybabies. I mean, I think at this part, I mean, the little bit at the end there is just, you know, just personal attacks on folks. Yeah, I feel like void legendaries should be busted OP. I feel like Void Legendary should be on a whole other level, you know? Is she on a whole other level? I feel like Void Legendaries released years ago feels stronger than her, you know? And I'm not condoning power creep or anything, but I do agree with that point that Void Legendary should feel sort of a step above. She feels so specialized and so strangely partnered up with Sir Nicholas that, I don't know, maybe she'll just appear in arena teams without Sir Nick. And people just use her as like a sheep cleanser and stuff. Yeah, I think Mr. Neve here sums it up like a good one, man. She's an AoE reviver with increased speed and crowd control. Not outstanding, but pretty good and useful in general content. But when the hell are you ever going to use Sir Nick in arena? He's really dated. The pairing seems a bit pointless unless he gets a buff. Yeah, that's kind of the inkling I'm getting, man. Based on the fact that I've never seen Sir Nick in arena in my life. So the cool little interaction that at least Sir Nicholas and Lady Noelle do have is that when she uses, I think it was at A2, if she uses at A2 on Sir Nicholas, it instantly activates his goodwill skill, which is his A3, so instantly places unkillable and continuous heal on all allies for a couple of turns. That's something, at least. You just get to activate an unkillable right away. Is that alone, plus the shielding that Sir Nicholas gives off of his A2, enough to justify his position on anything approaching a decent like PvP or like arena team? Doesn't feel like it. Now, funnily enough, it just happens that the account that I'm actually on right now is an account takeover in progress, and we've actually got a Sir Nicholas right here that I'm going to be tweaking the build for and stuff in just a second. But yeah, what do you guys think of this fusion? For me, I feel like I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I think I'm just going to go ahead and just get the Lady Noelle just because I have the resources on my main account, at least. Screw that at my free-to-play. Ain't going anywhere near this, you know? But on my main account, I might as well just do it. Void Legendaries, just getting as many as you possibly can to do things like, you know, secret rooms and Case City rooms and stuff where you're only allowed to use Void champs from certain factions and stuff like that. I kind of feel like you can't have too many legendary Void champs, even if they end up being a little bit lackluster and you don't end up using them all that much outside of those areas of the game. But yeah, all in all, not the most hype champ in the world, man, for a December fusion. I was kind of expecting something that would be for all players, but you know what is for all players? My promo link down below at the top of the video description, man. If you go ahead and click on the beginner link at the top of the video description box, you're going to get yourself 4 free epic champions when you create your new raid account, man. So make sure you're signed out of Plarium Player on your PC. Go ahead, click that link, create your new raid account today, man. A new free-to-play adventure or something like that, and you'll get your hands on 4 free epic champions, man, as you do it for one of the best beginner starts possible. That's the promo link down below at the top of the description box. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy this one, man. Leave your thoughts down below, and I'm going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.